Coach, we find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? This is Jalen Richard. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3.
Over!
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He completes it right side away. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a handoff to Richard. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, usually you don't think of the cornerback coming in for a no-gain play, but that's what we had there. Nice tackle.
Man, how about the range, too? Coming from the outside part of the play, moving his way into the inside and making that play happen. No gain for the offense, big play for the defense.
Lucky 56. Watch him now, Barney.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Got it complete to Rodgers. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. On target over the middle to Hill. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Marquise Lee, the intended target. And it's 3rd and short. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
It's been a 7-play opening drive, and this is 3rd and short.
Watch it now, Barney.
They'll set up to throw. He hits White, complete. And he will have the first down, but he winds up taking a pretty good shot that time. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Gun! Watch it now, Barney.
They'll drop to throw. Looking for Aguilar, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Last week, somehow they won. He threw all those picks, but they still won. Here, opening drive, unfortunately, he picked up where he left off.
Partner, you get a lot of extra patience when you find a way to win despite you making mistakes. But starting out again this game, that patience is going to wear thin really quick. And I think the guys on the defensive side of the ball will be the first ones to let him know that's got to stop.
A first carry for Amir Abdullah. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On first down, Abdullah. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Now that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
He'll look to throw. Benjamin with it over the middle. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Give him 30 yards there.
We just saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath routes, I know from experience, they get tired of watching those balls get caught. They start to creep up a little bit, and that's when you can hit them big over the top.
Moncrief brings it in. So a good spin move there before he's taken down. A nice little gain. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Really been an ideal start for them. They get the turnover on the opening possession. Now here they are moving the ball straight down the field on their first drive.
And that feels good, but you know on their side of the field, all they're thinking is, finish this drive off because they took it away, right? So now you got them back on their heels a little bit. Now go down, put a touchdown on them. Look out. You've won the mental battle early in the game, and that may carry over for you.
And on 3rd and inches, we're going to get a whistle and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. They'll sneak it with Taylor. And he'll be touched down here, but not before he does pick up the first. They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it 1st and goal. Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Bronco football to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a 1st down. They'll try to run it in with Abdullah. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Chris Jones in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Couple of plays sent them the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14. Back to throw here. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. And McManus able to put it through. But now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about. So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Following the penalty, Abdullah. And they get him down at the 1. He had the broken tackle, but ultimately could not get into the end zone. A good pickup there, 7 yards, and it's going to be 2nd and goal now. 2nd and goal from the 1. They'll try to sneak with Taylor, and he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. Tyrod Taylor, his 6th touchdown of the season, and the Broncos are in for 6. So with 2nd and goal, still had a couple of downs to work with. They tried to sneak, and they got in.
I like the idea that they did it early in the down and distance count. 2nd down as opposed to waiting later on. I think it fooled them a little bit, but how about the push they got up front to get the quarterback through?
Big push and a touchdown to boot. And to no one's surprise here in Denver, that'll carry through the back of the end zone for a touchback. And the Chiefs now getting set to go. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
This is Todman, and he'll get this one up to the 26. Tackled by Bradley Chubb, the number 5 pick in the 2018 draft. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
Back to throw. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Hassan Ridgeway with a great push up front. He picks up the sack and a loss of 8.
Detroit! Over!
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Shaquille Barrett in there to drop him, and back-to-back sacks now bring up 4th and long. Here's Brett Kern now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And certainly not the greatest of kicks there. This one will be down inside their own 40-yard line. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. So 2nd in inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. Now a give. This is Abdullah. Shifts by him, and he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They go back to Abdullah on first. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Derek Nottie makes the tackle.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Looking to throw. Flush to his right. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. He was trying to hit Thomas that time, and it's 3rd down.
Different pass rushes are designed for different things. Sometimes you want to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Sometimes you want him to flush. I don't know exactly how this one was designed, but they made sure they moved him to his right. He got out of the pocket. Unfortunately for him, he was hit as he tried to throw the ball, and that resulted in an incompletion.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Dietrich Wise Jr. with a big-time sack on 3rd down, and it'll be a loss of 7. And McManus able to put it through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Back to Denver right after this. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Watching now, Barney.
Here's a give to Richard. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Detroit! Watching now, Barney.
He'll drop to throw. Complete left side, the tight end Rodgers. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Chiefs first down.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
Watching now, Barney.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And the Broncos get there and take him down.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their 3rd one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Watching now, Barney.
They're going to look to throw. And that'll be incomplete. He was trying to get it to Tyreek Hill that time. And it's 3rd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
The Chiefs on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. They'll set up a throw. Going up top. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, and have them back on their heels.
On is Kern, the punter, to send this one away. The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And his throw here's incomplete. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Now here's a defensive timeout called by the Chiefs, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. The Broncos on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. They'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
So on 4th down, here's Marquette King to punt it away. Tyreek Hill back deep for Kansas City. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And the catch made here by Marquise Lee. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Pushing a 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And a little spin cycle. Room to run now. And he will score. Touchdown, Denver. Well, when both guys went up for the ball, I just thought, who's going to come down with it? I didn't think he'd come down with it and then take it all the way for a touchdown.
That's battling, isn't it? Because normally, if both guys go up for it and come down with it, the tie goes to the offense. The defensive player didn't want it to be a tie at all. He wanted a little bit more too.